So it finishes then Southampton 1, Tottenham 1. Overall, there was a lot of excitement for Spurs going into this game. What went wrong for them today, Nathan?
Do you know what? That's a great question. I think Southampton obviously defended well. There were one or two decisions that went against them, obviously, like that one with the Harry Kane thing. But it's just football, isn't it? Like, playing against a side like Southampton, we've got that home support there, who were committed. You know, they were off the back of a good result against West Ham just a couple of days earlier. You're going to come up against a spirited side, and the team going down to 10 men, it adds a level of pressure to you, which at times, you know, at times can be unfounded, because the opposition, they lose a man higher, but they still have everybody else further back. So you have to find ways to be more creative, and unfortunately for Spurs, it doesn't seem like that's necessarily like a big part of the game at this moment in time. But to mention, as for me personally, like seeing Harry Kane playing on the shoulder more, you know, trying to get some of those balls in behind and so on, I think that's a positive sign for them. And obviously it's a disappointing day for them to not get the 3 points. But I guess there are positives within it. And I've got to say as well, I disagree with that decision on the goalkeeper. I really do. And the reason I disagree is because as Doherty starts running in, the keeper's not even in his vision. As you see, if you look back at the video, as the ball goes in the air, Doherty's trying to go for the ball, and the keeper's not even somebody he sees. So when he jumps up to try and head the ball, the keeper's not the person he expects to be challenging with. But then the fact that he is, it ends up the keeper gets away with a huge rick. And that comes, I think, because the Southampton defender just leaned back, and that caused the collision. But yeah, for me, that shouldn't have been a foul. And I think the goalkeepers are all a little bit overprotected.
Wow. Mark, was it a foul for you?
No, I'm with Nathan on this. You know, I think Doherty went for the ball. It was a fair challenge. I think, you know, Fraser Forster is a giant, by the way. I mean, he's a huge goalkeeper. I don't think he's going to be, you know, knocked off his stride by somebody going for that challenge. And I think that was it again recently. I think it was Newcastle against Man City, and Ederson was extremely lucky on 2 occasions to get away with fouls. And one, he just absolutely came out of his goal and totally clattered into the back, I think, Callum Wilson. Goalkeepers get away with murder. It's unbelievable what they can do on that pitch. They can get fouls for nothing. They can commit fouls and not be punished. And this one tonight, I think Tottenham are extremely lucky not to have that goal given.
That's quite a face shacker.
It's a who is it who jumped for the ball? Doherty. He jumps for the ball. He's going to head the ball, but he turns his back to the ball. He
jumps for the ball.
But he turns his... Who jumps for a ball and turns their back to the ball?
And then collides with the goal.
I don't...
Who's holding it?
Whether he's in Fraser Forster's peripheral vision or not has absolutely nothing to do with this. He jumps for the ball and turns his back to collide with Fraser Forster. I don't know how you are supposed to interpret that.
I'm with Shaq.
That wasn't a foul.
Yeah, he jumps into Fraser Forster.
Right.
Who's got the ball in his hand and knocks it out, and it goes in the back of the net. It's a foul.
Of course, preceding that was a very tight offside call. Do you have any problems with that, Nathan?
Well, once they bring the lines out, you're disappointed to see that that's how detailed football can be these days, but then you also can't argue it. So unfortunately, you have to say, well, yeah, I guess it's offside, but in the spirit of the game, you know, if the lines weren't there, I don't think there'd be many people who'd be looking and saying, oh, he's clearly offside. So it's a shame the game got chalked off, but, you know, with the technologies here, so as a consequence, I have to deem it the right decision.
I tell you what, it kind of sounds like we're kind of... it's coming out like Tottenham were unlucky. Mm-hmm. Tottenham were outplayed for 40 minutes until Salisu got sent off. Tottenham couldn't get out their half for 40 minutes before they got the penalty kick. And then when they're playing against 10 men, they can't break them down. And then you've got Conte coming out after the game saying, oh, they're tired.
Right.
Hold on a second, this is the second game in the trot. They've played 10 men. You shouldn't be tired playing against 10 men every time you step on the field. So don't use that as an excuse. Listen, and the offside goal, it's offside because that's the rules.
Right.
We're going with that. But they never created a chance against 10 men.
It's the rules, and it's a rule that was loosened slightly at the start of the season with the use of the thicker lines or whatever it was, and never mind the dotted lines to the underarm. So there's a bigger margin of error, and he's still offside. There's nothing unlucky about that.
So were you getting carried away yesterday when you were lauding Spurs and the trajectory that they were on and the way they were looking under Conte, given that first half performance?
Yeah, or maybe I wasn't giving Southampton enough credit. Southampton who battled and almost threw it away against West Ham. But I think for me, this was less about Spurs being poor and Southampton just being very good. And then when you go down to 10 men, you just defend for your lives. And we were talking yesterday about Spurs, and before Conte coming in, they had the lowest distance covered stats of anybody in the league. And since he's been in, they're now top of the league. I would love to see the comparison between Spurs and Southampton today, because I thought Southampton outworked Spurs with both 11 and 10 men. I just thought that they were that good. They were that determined. An adjective I use with Leicester as well.
Mark, how would you sum up Spurs today?
I think that the creativity thing is an issue. I think, but it's not a Conte thing. It's a Conte thing. It's a Nuno thing. It's a Mourinho thing. I just don't think Spurs have got the quality midfield that they need to kind of, create the chances for Kane and Son. And I do think the offside is very harsh, by the way. I think when you go into armpits, it's very harsh. But I just think Tottenham, until they find somebody in midfield who can, create openings and find space and just pick a pass for the forwards, they're going to struggle like this. And it's been a problem that Tottenham have had for a long time now.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.